he starts, just for some context, right? He comes into the season saying, I'm going to wait, 6 months and see what this team is like. And then maybe I'll think about asking for a trade. But he wanted to stay in Milwaukee for this year. And the Bucks go all out this summer trying to get a team around him, right? They stretch and waive Damian Lillard's contract. They bring in Miles Turner from Indiana to try and get some center depth around him. And this team was a 500 team with Giannis. And now that Giannis is going to be out for, what is it, a couple weeks here, this team is quickly going to go downhill, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm. Are you a little surprised that they're not better?
No, because they didn't bring in any star, point guard or talent around him. They just brought in role players. And in this league, it's seeming like you can't win with one All NBA player anymore. It just seems like you need at least two All NBA or even All NBA All Star caliber players
Hmm.
to win. You can't win with just a one star right now.
Well, that's for sure. I think you can win with two All NBAs
Like,
or three near and All NBAs kind of guys or
right.
something,
You
right?
look at like um the Thunder, for example, right? SGA is the face of the team, but you still have Jalen Williams right next to him.
Yeah,
You still have was it Chet Holmgren, who is a maybe not on the same level, but definitely a higher end player in this league,
for sure. I
right?
mean, let's just drill on that for 1 second. How many games are they going to win this year? Now, remember,
Thunder,
they might rest people at the end of the year and blah blah. How many games are they going to win?
I think they will get to hear me out. I think they're going to get to 70 wins with 8 games to go, and they'll decide what to do from there.
Because of the NBA Cup, they will probably play extra games. They
Correct.
could win 83 games.
They could possibly win. Is
I
it
mean, they're not
83
going.
or 84? How many extra? Do you get
Well,
one
they
extra
have a
game?
loss already. They have a loss already, right? Don't they play three extra games or two
Right.
extra
Oh, yeah.
games?
So I guess, yeah, they're not going to win 83 games.
I know, but
But
I'm going to put their win total. I'm going to put their win total at 76.
which would break the record by 2 games, I think. What are
70,
the 15 Warriors
73,
got? 74?
73 wins, 74.
That was
Hey,
74. Anyway,
interns, let's look
yeah.
that up. I'll get them going on it.
But the point is, I think they will get to a position where they can break the record with games to spare. And whether they decide to go all out for that, remains to be seen.
Well, I
It
don't.
will not it will not come down to the last game, is what I'm trying to say.
No, I think you're probably right, but it also depends, and I haven't looked at it. Like, I don't know what their last 10 games of their season looks like.
Right.
If they're playing, tough guys in the West, that's one thing. They're probably not going to try and burn guys out for the playoffs. If they're, they're playing the Clippers in some game, right? You
They
know,
might they might sit SGA and Jalen Williams and still win by 20.
exactly. So
Um,
we'll pull that up. But
but
back to Giannis. What do you think will happen here?
I mean, I think unfortunately for the rest of the league, Giannis has no choice but to ask out with this, just the lack of assets that the Milwaukee Bucks have right now. Giannis has picked some teams, New York Knicks specifically, so far that he's, had interest in going to for a trade. It'd be in the best interest of the Milwaukee Bucks to try and get, the most amount of assets, picks they can get back. And unfortunately, that looks like the Oklahoma City Thunder or the San Antonio Spurs right now.
Yeah, I don't think the Spurs pick him up because they don't need him. I mean, I guess he would
I mean,
help. Don't get
you
me
could
wrong.
you could get rid of what's their Stephon Castle, their, was
Yeah.
it second year or third year, you trade him, then you can
Well,
give away,
he'd get a lot of value for Castle too. He's a great player, right?
and you can give away like 5 first round picks in the next 5 years. Um,
Yeah,
and
although you got to look at who has the money for him too, right? Like
um,
KC probably could do it. Maybe, I don't
it's
know.
not about the money right now. I mean, Milwaukee doesn't need money, and they need the picks because right? This
Oh, I
league
know they
isn't
need them,
this league
but
isn't about money anymore because all the NBA teams right now can spend up to the salary cap. It's, you know, how do you work out a team where you're under that apron with still maneuverability to trade, to pick up guys, stuff like that, which is the harder part of the league right now.
yeah. Although if you're OKC, I'm not trading for that, right? I'm crushing everybody. I'm keeping my picks and waiting to reload when I need
Right.
to, right?
But I'm wondering, um, I'll talk about one more thing about
Yeah.
OKC because it actually goes back to the Clippers situation. Um, but OKC maybe not this year, but if the Bucks can find out a way to hold on to Giannis for the end of the year, the Thunder win the championship, and then they get Giannis in the offseason to reload for next year.
Could be. Here, you want to hear something interesting? I looked up the schedule. These are in reverse order, the last games OKC plays. You ready?
Yeah.
Suns is the last game.
Okay.
Before that, it's Nuggets,
Yeah.
Clippers, Lakers,
Okay.
Jazz, Lakers, Pistons, Knicks,
That's
Bulls, Celtics, 76ers. That's a pretty tough
that's a
stretch.
tough that's a tough stretch.
I mean, you got some easy ones before that with the easier.
Right.
You got Wizards,
I think
Timberwolves, Magic,
right.
Celtics again.
Like I said, it all has to do with, when they get to the mark where they have the
Yeah,
chance to break the record, right? The earlier
but
they get to
you're
it,
not going to finish the season with like Nets, Magic,
right?
Clippers, Suns.
Right. You know, OKC is by far and away the favorite to win. They've played the easiest schedule so far, though. Like,
Well,
I don't
you
think,
know the games you get to play,
yeah,
the games you scheduled.
right. But
Go
my point
past.
is, you look at a team like the Nuggets, who are also playing well right now, and they've played some tougher competition. I don't think the gap is as big as we think. Now, it's still considerable by all means, right? It's not close in any way, but it's smaller than coming into this season, I think.
Yeah. Let's go back though to Giannis for a second because I don't think I don't think Milwaukee can let him go. I think they have to do everything in their power, even if it's sacrificing the future to keep him.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise you're looking at an 8-year rebuild, 7-year rebuild. Because you got to build. If Giannis goes, everybody has to go. I mean, you
Yeah,
have to
but
strip
what
that
if you
team to
get
studs.
5 first round picks in the next 5 years?
You're not. I mean, how long is Giannis's contract?
Yeah, but it's not about that. It's about he's only 31. Teams, you know, if he's going to a team like the Spurs, they can ask for five
Sure.
first round picks. And the Spurs, quite frankly, would be happy to do that. And maybe not for all five, but you send in a player and then you get 4, 3, maybe.
Maybe.
Like,
Yeah.
um,
I don't know. I mean, it's sort of interesting because if you're in the West right now, like Giannis can help you, but you have a long, tough road ahead of you for a long time. The East, I mean, we'll see what happens. There's a lot of good players obviously coming up and things change, but like it doesn't feel like the East is going to be nearly as big a bloodbath for a long time. So, like, think about the parallels, like trying to win the in baseball the AL East or something. It's always a knife fight, right? You got the Blue Jays, the Yankees, the Reds. Like, it's never easy. And so
mhm,
you'd be like, oh, we went all in and we still lost in the second round or something. You know what I mean? And so
right.
it's a little hard, I think, if you're in the West, you don't have a choice, but you got to be really careful because you got to do it if you want to have any shot. But in the East, it's a lot easier because we spend the same amount of money and we're basically guaranteed, an Eastern Conference championship run. You know what I mean? Like not
Right.
guaranteed, of course, but I'm just saying like
Um,
it's a lot easier to get there in the East.
yeah.
So the question then is, does Giannis have more value in the West or does he have more value in the East? Because you can't compete in the West without him, maybe, but in the East, you're locking up maybe a bunch of
Right. If he
rounds of
can get
playoff.
to a team like Miami's playing well right now, if you add a
Yeah,
Giannis to it, you can be a top team in the
yeah,
Eastern Conference.
yeah, right. And so then you're like, okay, well, yeah, we gave up a lot, but it's also worth a lot to be kind of the front runner to get to the Eastern Conference Finals for the next 3 years,
Right.
right?
Um, But Giannis is getting older and his injuries are starting to pick up a little bit more as well. You know, he's still going to be a dominant force for considerable time, assuming he stays for the most part healthy.
Yeah.
But I do think it's not as dominant as it used to be, right? He might not be able to be the the 1A guy and the 1B guy on this team, right? You might need a 1B or even, maybe even a 1C player. It can't just be him and role players. You need someone
Yeah.
around him to facilitate.
Yeah. I mean, I think you see that with big guys, right? Which is they tend to have, which is not surprising, but they tend to fade a little sooner than the big guards or the guards, right?
Well,
Because
yeah,
they're just it's not as physical for those guys, right? So
especially the way Giannis playing, right? He's
yeah,
always going through contact, trying to,
yeah,
force
he
his
plays
way
like
into the basket.
Embiid. He
Yeah,
just plays it super physical,
right.
and it's a great style for him, but it
It
has a
work.
cost.
Yeah,
It has a cost.
it's for those guys, it's impossible to defend them when they're in their prime,
Yeah,
but then they end their prime early now.
there's one guy we see that is obviously still maybe in the back of his prime, but still in his prime is Jokic. He doesn't seem like he's taking the beating that some of the other big guys like him have.
Because he doesn't play that right. He's not a
He's
ball,
not as much a contact guy, I guess you're right.
and he doesn't when I say he's not a ball, dominant guy, he gets the ball from a Jokic or from a Jamal Murray and makes another pass. He doesn't, bring the ball all the way up the floor and try and, drive his way to the basket as
Trying to dunk
much
through
as
four guys.
right. He's not dunking over guys.
Yeah.
He barely even leaves the ground when he dunks. He just slowly lifts it in. Um, right. And the way teams try to, often they try and play Giannis straight up one on one and, put a guy like, for example, Jordan Walsh on him and just try and give him, um, when I say pain, like discomfort
Yeah.
throughout a game.
Yeah.
Um, Whereas Jokic, they immediately go and double because of his passing ability, not because of his ability to go through a defender, right? You put a
Yeah. That
guy
might be it.
like Giannis on, or not even Giannis, you put a guy like, I'm trying to think of, a strong, solid wing defender. Like, for example, you put on like a Wemby. Jokic is not going to be going through Wemby with his physicality. He's going to look to pass around him and find the
Yeah.
open guy that Wemby comes and doubles off of or Wemby's, guarding. He's not going to just go at Wemby.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, I think it'll be interesting to see. If I were betting, I bet he stays in Milwaukee
Yeah.
because I think Milwaukee has to do everything they can to keep him. And so I think they will do maybe some unnatural things
Mm.
because otherwise you're looking at a long rebuild, even with a bunch of picks. It's still a long
Yeah.
rebuild. I mean, look at OKC, got a bunch of picks, took 5 years still, right?
Mm.
Something